Welcome to Running Back Podcast, or The Rib. I'm your boy Javi,
D-Lo.
Cha-Cha's in the building.
And I'm Omega Green.
and y'all ready to get into this
Let's
episode?
get it cracking.
Let's get it cracking. I got the mac and cheese.
Delish.
Yeah.
We're back. All right, America. Welcome to another episode of our podcast, Run It Back. So let's see how everybody's been doing this week. D-Lo, how you been living this week?
Man, it's been a rough week, man. Dealing with, the Kentucky seasonal weathers.
Oh, gotcha.
Facts.
And then I've had this crick in my neck since yesterday. So
Come on, Craig. Not a crooked.
but yeah, it just
Quit
like
sleeping all silly.
Right.
I don't know, man. I woke up and it just like last night, it hurt so bad I couldn't find a good spot to lay in. So I was up at like 2:30 in the morning, like mad as hell because I couldn't get back to sleep. So, but
Sleep standing up.
sleeping like a bat upside down and stuff, you know what I mean?
Standing up.
But Omega, how you doing this week, man?
Pretty good. I'm preparing myself to start this new job. Pretty excited about it. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. The bottom line, I feel like it's got to be good.
That right.
Yeah. Free beer or free liquor?
Yeah.
Period.
No.
I know who to hit up then.
Y'all heard it first.
Facts.
Yeah.
They're talking about some interesting stuff though, like new products getting ready to come online.
Ooh.
Some more.
We know who's bringing liquor to the barbecue on the rib.
Yeah.
Some more aged things. Where I'm like, okay, you get into like the 10 years, the 12 years, like sit back for a little while. I'm like, bro, they do some special shits, like some custom things. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to get a hold of some of them.
Yeah, let me know on that stuff, man. For real.
Hey, yeah.
That's what's up.
How about you, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just got back from training up in Dayton. It was really fun. I met some wonderful ladies and guys. But my trainers were wonderful. I had Sarah and Chelsea. They're awesome. I enjoyed my time with them. Sarah's probably listening. Hey, Sarah.
Cool. Shout out.
Shout out to Sarah
Shout out there.
up in Dayton, over at Miami Valley.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. I learned a lot, and I brought back a lot with me as far as my job and having that confidence to do the things I need to do. So it's been a good week. I had fun, and I'm glad to be back. How you feeling, Cha-Cha?
You know what? It's been a good week. I'm still enjoying. Shout out to Genesis,
Hey.
the automakers. Yeah, I'm still learning it. Let me tell you, I took the manual inside to the crib. I opened it up for 2 seconds and was like, I'm gonna have to sit in the car and do this stuff. This stuff's amazing. But I'm enjoying it, and life is good. I still have a job. As long as you got a job in this administration, life is good. So I have nothing to complain about. Work was what it was. What I do, it's random. It's random. But today I got my steps in. I got my steps in. I was winded. So they got me. They got me good. But it's all for a good cause, because anytime I'm getting my steps in, it means that I'm helping cancer patients with a need, whether it be a gas card, whether they need to discuss how to help them pay a utility, rent, mortgage. It's something that they need. So it's a good feeling, even though I be winded. It's a good feeling.
He'll be walking up to somebody's door like,
got double over. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm going to where they are. I'm meeting them where they are. And before I even go into their room, I'm like, let me catch my breath first, because it's crucial. So it's been a good week. I helped a lot of patients today, cancer patients, by the way.
That's some good work, though.
Nobody asked for this, America. Nobody asked for cancer. Somebody answer the phone.
It was me.
Nobody asked for this. Cancer, from what I've seen, it turns a household upside down financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so when I'm getting my steps in, I can overlook that, even though I gotta take a breath every now and then. But I can overlook it because there's a greater cause, a greater good involved with it, So that's what it is.
So you had a good week. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, y'all. When we come back, we are going to dive into the topic of the episode, which is, when is it okay to walk away? We got 3 different scenarios coming up, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in a second. All right, y'all. So welcome back. Our topic for this week is, when is it okay to walk away? So I know you might ask, what do you mean? So I have 3 different scenarios for my bros here today, and the audience.
Gotcha.
First scenario being, when is it a good time? When is it okay to walk away from the workplace? And when I say the workplace, I mean, as far as, say that you've been with a company for, and this is a scenario not correlated to anybody here or me or anybody that totally I know, but I know that it's happened. I know that it's happened. I've seen it happen. It may have happened to me. I just can't think back that far right now. But anyways, in the workplace, as far as, like, say you've been with a company for 3 years, you've put in day in, day out, 100%, 110%. And each year you go for a promotion. And it may be a promotion to where, like, you are particularly working towards that and they see the effort that you put in. But when it comes to that time, somebody always gets it over you. You went for it 2-3 times maybe now, and they keep letting people get it over you. They also, in the past, have brought somebody in for that position and overlooked you for that position.
Gotcha.
So when do you hit that ceiling to where you're like, okay, I'm not going anywhere with this company, so I need to seek employment elsewhere? Or do you settle? When is a good time for you individually? Would you have been like, okay, I need to walk away? Would it have been at that 3 years after the 3rd time you had tried for it? Would it have been at the 1st time, the 2nd time? What would have happened? What in your mind would you have went through, Omega?
Well, personally, I am pretty persistent. So if I do have a shortcoming or I fail at something, a lot of times I'll continue to work at it until it gets better and I can overcome the barrier.
Yeah.
But if it was a scenario like you mentioned, to where it's like,
oh, you putting it in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
like, they see you, they value you.
I'd like to think so, but kind of a dynamic question. But ultimately, I feel like at the beginning of the day, you're like, okay, I can do this. I can overcome, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, if what you said was happening actually is, how things are unfolding, then it's like, yeah, they've passed you over multiple times, and then they've actually brought people in from the outside to where, I mean, don't get me wrong, like sometimes some companies, their culture can be kind of like toxic, the way they go about stuff. And then also some companies don't really hire based on actual qualifications. They really hire people for certain positions of power because they'll do what the people above them tell them to. Mm-hmm. So it's really more of like a subordination type thing.
But what would you do you as Omega, if you were in that position, if you were that person that had been striving all that time, when would have been your breaking point?
I would have given it attempts like a handful of times, anywhere from like 3 to 5 times. When it gets to a point to where
so
it's
you would have been there 3 to 5 years, because it would have been a situation.
Oh, so you're talking about like an annual thing?
Yeah.
Oh well, hell no. I would have maybe 3, because you only have so much time in your life to dedicate to something, and if you're giving these people, especially like some companies, just like really don't give a fuck about you. So, I mean, if you're going to dedicate the time, you're taking a risk. But I think it's ironic that you brought up that scenario, because that exact scenario happened to somebody I was talking to here recently, a coworker of mine. There was a woman that worked in his department, and the dude that was over top of the entire department was leaving. He was going to some other position at another store or something. I don't know what, but basically she was amply qualified. She'd been there for a long time. She put in her dues and everything, and basically they brought this young cat, maybe in his early 20s, in from the outside, hired him and gave him a position that, I mean, he may have been qualified to do it, but just the look of stuff, because she had been there, she put in the work and everything, and like she was, you know, according to Buddy, like she was salty as fuck about it, and understandably so.
She should be.
Yeah,
she should be.
But the thing about it is that he was coming in, the new dude, to learn, get his bearings, so he could do his job, and she was straight up like, I'm not gonna talk to that motherfucker, you know, like I'm not gonna help him.
She was being malicious.
Yeah, exactly. To where I'm kind of like back into the question, to where I'm like, you can try so long. And in this scenario, it's like, okay, it could be them, but you also got a question too, is like, kind of could be you at the end of the day. Like you got to be able to see. That
was your attitude.
You got to be able to see that, to where it's like, and I've known people too, co-workers in the past, like great people and everything, but maybe they have the tendency to complain a little bit more than they should. So they become that person at work, to where it's like, you don't necessarily avoid them. You don't have an active dislike for them. But when they come around, you know what to expect. You know? So it's like,
and that matters.
Yeah,
that matters. You know, are you disruptive? Are you a killer of the harmonious atmosphere?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
do you always got, you know, management have that, you know, they have a lot going on already, and now they got to deal with you. Like, damn, now we got to look into this too. Like, then I wish he would just shut up.
But ultimately, like a yearly thing, I would maybe give a company like 3 years, and if nothing's really happening, it's like, I need to figure out what's going on. Either I need to improve and get better, and it is me, and they're not telling me, which pisses me off in my own right. If I'm fucking up, you need to tell me so I can get better. But on the other hand too, I'm like, when you start taking it too seriously, you get too heavily invested, and it's like your life's wrapped up in this bullshit. So I'd be like, nah, like something like that, like maybe 3 years.
Gotcha. So D-Lo, how long would you give it? When would it be okay to walk away from your workplace if you're not being promoted after 3 years of giving it 100, 110%?
Maybe even just recognized.
And them seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like them praising you all year long because of your hard work.
Right.
But then when it comes up to getting the promotion, you're not the one that's getting it. It's somebody else always getting it.
Every time,
See,
but your hat's always in the race. Or is it? Yes. Yeah.
It's always.
I'm normally to a person that say to the 34-year mark. You know, because I've been at some toxic places. I mean, even the whole Amazon and the DSP work, because we both worked. We both worked both places.
Yeah.
So like, you know how toxic that gets. So and then of course, I worked in restaurant, so the restaurant life is not for the faint of heart at all. All right, with a bag of candy.
Okay. Candy got a bed.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've been at the most toxic places for about 5-6 years. You know what I mean?
But how long would you give it in that instance where they're praising your hard work in your face constantly, and then
and that's why I say about 3 or 4 years. 3 to 4 years. You know, because even in that kind of scenario, like where I was. Even working for restaurants, because throughout the whole time you're pulling doubles at your ass every day. And they're all the time like, oh, good job, appreciate the work you do.
But every year you don't look at me.
But toxic environments are a blessing in disguise as far as what you're trying to do, because right there, that's a red flag right there in the early stages for you to say, well, this is a toxic environment. Do you really want to advance in that environment, in that workplace? And that's just a rhetorical question.
Because like there was at the the DSP that I worked for. I'm not saying no names on it, but
you ain't got
that.
But already go to where.
No, because they don't. People don't know about what DSPs are.
We're not gonna give them no clout.
No,
not today.
But like that was toxic from the get. But I figured if I was able to move up, I can swing it in a different way. You know what I mean? Right. So that's where plus it was a startup company, so it was more like I can do some good if I can just move up. But
that's important. That right there, what you said is a mouthful because the company itself. What's the background of the company? Is it a new startup? Is it a position that you feel like that person just needs to be replaced, and I'm the person for that? It's a lot that goes into that, and so I can see that if you feel like that you can make changes to a toxic environment, all we need is this, all we need is that, then go for it. Go for it. But then like goes back to the original question. How long do you endure that?
3 or 4 years.
When they show you who they really are.
So 3 years, Omega. 3 or 4 years, D-Lo. Since you're already there, how long would it take for you if you were in that situation?
Okay, I'm gonna go in a different direction because for me, it's not about the length of time. It all depends on, like for me, I've researched what I want to do and where I see myself in 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna see, is this position or this company that I'm attempting to work for, are they gonna offer me that? Are they going to offer me that? So if I say yes, it may take longer than 3 to 5 years, because not only that, what do they offer for me to put myself in position to even get looked at? How do I make myself marketable? Is this company going to allow me to be marketable enough to even go for it? Yeah. So there's a lot of things that play into that. So if I find a company that offers me that, especially if I'm goal oriented, if I have a company that can show me that, then it may take longer than 3 to 5 years because there might be a training program that takes 2 years. Right. Like a leadership program. There's some leadership programs out there that take maybe 36 months. And the only time that you have to do them is at a certain time period that's not beneficial because of what you do, so everything has to line up properly for you to even be able to do that.
So with that, how long would you think it would take for that?
So now once I complete a leadership program while also working and being the best, because my mindset is going to be when I go in there, nobody's going to outwork me. So I'm building myself. So I have to give myself a window. So I would say, I'm gonna say, depending on the leadership program, because I'm looking for all that. I'm looking for all the benefits and the incentives of wanting this job, because I'm not trying to settle. So once I've done the research, and I'm saying, okay, it's gonna take me 3 years to complete that. It's gonna take me, I would say, maybe 6 to 7. Because I want to give myself an opportunity to know the ins and the outs, not only of that department, but the whole company, because that's going to give me a leg up. I'm trying to win.
But even if someone else is coming in right behind you with not as much knowledge or skill as you and getting those positions, and they're overlooking you, or they're coming in off the street with no knowledge of the company that you've worked for 2 or 3 years now, and they still haven't given you that promotion.
And that's a different scenario. And that's a different scenario because that's the scenario I'm gonna give them a chance because, like you said, now if I've applied for the position, then I expect at least to make it. If they have 2 interviews, if I at least expect to make it to the interview phase versus somebody coming in off the street, because that right there should automatically give me a leg up because I'm a part of the company. So if I make it to an interview and then there's somebody that comes in off the street that also makes it to that interview, and then let's just say there's a second interview, and then they hire him or her instead of me, then so now I'm going to have to think, was there a hidden agenda to this?
Or am I not that as qualified as I thought? So if that happens the first time.
Yeah. There's
So
a lot to play into that.
I'm going to go back and work a little harder.
Yeah.
And then the next year, that position comes open again.
Right.
You apply for it.
Right.
And the same thing happens. They turn you away for somebody else.
And now I have some serious thinking to do
How
about
long will you
my
let
career.
that go on?
Oh, that's all it's going to take is the second time. That's all it's going to take is the second
Yeah.
time. I'm
2
going to give
years.
them. I'm going to give them a chance
2 years.
because I know me.
Yeah.
Because I know me. I'm not going to say 2 years. I'm saying 2 tries.
Yeah.
2 tries over the
Yeah.
amount of years. I don't know how many years it's going to take for me to get that second try, but I'll let it pass.
Yeah.
Because I'm also watching the person that they hired over me.
The perception of it was an annual.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years. I'm giving them 2 years because now I know it's not about me. There's a hidden agenda that they're not sharing with me.
Yeah.
And so now it becomes personal.
Well,
and
that's why I say,
right?
and that's also why I say it's hard to put a time frame. Like I said, if it's an annual thing, I may give them 3, maybe 4, but it depends on what the scenario was. Now, if I'm coming up to you and I'm asking you, what can I do better to be able to do this, and you're not telling me
that part,
then it's time to go.
Right.
And
because you're not trying to make because you're not trying to make me better.
Or what if they tell you and you feel like that's what you're doing already?
Yeah,
I'm already doing that. Are you
correct
serious?
Yeah, it's time to go.
Say what?
The correct tools for the job. If they don't provide you with the correct tools for the job,
because I mean, like I said about the
and that's if they telling you that. If they telling you that, like, well, why you know. Y'all didn't offer me that. You know, if you'd offered me that, then I could have gave you that. But you cannot deny that my work is impeccable without that.
These gummies are turning me sideways. I don't know what it is, but I'll include the bag.
Those are delicious.
And even about the the DSP that I worked for, like I literally had conversations, just me and him, talking about, you know, I wanted to learn the business acumen of certain things because I took a business class. In the middle of my business class, the school got shut down, so I didn't get to learn some of the things that I should have learned. And the whole time, you can pick my brain, blah blah blah. Never got to it, blah blah blah. And then he said, and then continuously wanted to say that he was trying to give us the tools to where if we wanted to take it somewhere else or go to another DSP, we could, but there was no other tools for the position I had. There was no other tools you was teaching me that I should have learned.
Right.
And then you want to sit there and say that, and then botch my manager's degree to say to either you can go back to being a driver or we're going to terminate your position.
That's personal. That's personal. And that's when you know. That's the writing
and
is on the wall.
And that's when I was like, it's time to go.
Peace.
I was like,
deuces. Yeah. So, and I actually have, you know, my previous job, who will remain nameless, they get no airtime. Before I got on at UK, I was with a job for 14 years. And this is important too. This is important too because you always want to feel like you've done all that you have done, that you've given them the opportunity, because you never want to walk away and say, well, you know what, I should have went to them and said, you know, look, is there an opportunity for me to get a raise or a promotion or something? You have to talk to them, because if you don't, you will walk away and not feel like that you gave it your best effort. So I did that. I you know, after 14 years, I was like, look, because I was ready to walk away and put in my 2 weeks. And I said, no, the best thing to do is to come to them first. So I did. And they told me, it doesn't look like it's in the cards for you. I said, all right, then, deuces, peace, I'm out. I did all I could do. And I left and UK, and I bet on myself that UK would call me. I left that job in August, and August of 2016, and UK called me in November. Period. And right off top, and I took a $4 pay cut to work at a temp agency, and I was in a relationship, and we lived together. So I took a $4 pay cut to bet on myself, and UK called me with that $4 pay cut temp job I was doing, and I ended up making more when UK hired me on the entry level than I was at that job that I walked away from. So yeah, give yourself an opportunity to do all that you have done before you ever walk away.
Facts.
Got you. Anybody else?
I mean, it's kind of almost like what you said, closed mouths don't get fed.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So you got to bring it up, put it in their ear, and then do what you do, and then do what you can for that job.
And don't be angry. Go in there professionally.
But if it don't look out the way it's supposed to, and they're doing other stuff, it's time for you to part ways with them.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
At the end of the day, you got to do what's right for you.
Right.
There's another plan out there.
I say 2 years, just for the same reason that Cha-Cha said. Like, it's got to make sense to me. And after 2 years of me going for the same gig, assuming that you're giving me the knowledge and I'm putting it in, if I'm giving you 110%,
Right.
and you're praising me throughout the year, but when it comes to the promotion, you can give it to somebody that walks in. You can vet everyone, but you give it to somebody who has either no knowledge or limited knowledge of your company and has no knowledge of how you actually work.
And you know me.
Yeah, it's time to go after 2 shots. But with that being said, when we come back, we are going to go over a different scenario to that topic to see what you all's reaction is on that. Yep. And if we can get into a third one, we will. If not, we can pick it up again another episode because I'm sure the audience will be interested in hearing those options.
We just run it back.
Yeah,
run it back, baby.
All right. So we'll be back in a minute. So stay tuned. All right. So welcome back to The Rib, and let's dive right back into the main topic. When is it okay to walk away? Now, in this particular scenario, guys, I want to kind of switch up the gears and talk about when is it okay to walk away from a toxic relationship or a relationship in general that you feel like isn't serving you purpose anymore. Whether it's the cheating or lying or the lack of attention or the growth or anything like that. For you, in any of those aspects, whichever one of them strikes a chord with you, and explain that when you explain your reasoning. But when do you feel like it's time to walk away? Cha-Cha.
For me, it's all about, nobody can tell you when you've had enough, so, no matter what I'm going through, people might say that he's treating you like this, she's treating you like this. Why are you still there?
Because you ain't got enough yet.
They don't know. They don't know that how much I've invested in this.
Right.
So, even still, I may, depending on what I've invested, I might try to save it for the benefit of just that, because what I've put into it. And like I said, when that gravy train runs out, and I feel like it's not worth saving, when I see that no matter what I do, it doesn't matter. That's what it's going to take. It doesn't, and let me explain that. Let me go deeper for a second, if I may. A lot of people. I don't want to hog the time, but there are some people that'll say, well, he or she didn't cheat, so that's the reason why I stayed, because I never could catch him. America, listen to me and listen to me good. You don't need to catch your mate cheating for you to say, I didn't catch him, so I'm staying. Because the signs are already there. When you meet somebody and they're just happy to be in your presence, or they just call you just to see how you're doing consistently, 2, 3, 4 years, and then that changes, that means something has changed in them about you. And so it grows and it grows and it grows. And that's when you say the neglect or the lack of attention. That's all it's got to take. Because if, when you get that lack of attention, what's the first thing you're going to say? They done found somebody else. It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me if you got somebody else, because I'm happy for you, because you are where you want to be. So be strong enough to say, look, you've changed. And I can tell that it's something that you're not interested in anymore. I don't need to catch you doing something to say that's all I needed to see. That's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Omega.
Well,
D-Lo was ready to go. Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
No.
Did I do it again?
No, this is a loaded question for me. So
no. Okay, so you got time to think about it.
Well, I feel like once you have actually exhausted all the methods of repair or addressing something, I think when people get involved in relationships, they have the tendency to come to the table with a lot of their own expectations as opposed to kind of trying to understand things as they are, the way in which people communicate, the way feelings, vibes, and all that. But like I said, sometimes people change. Sometimes people are unable to change for the better.
Right.
So there's living together in something that may or may not be truthful. But at the same time too, like, yeah, everybody should be free to live a life that they're happy with. So why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
When would enough be enough for you? Would you just have to figure it out along the way, or would you be like, as soon as it happens, as soon as I sense it, as soon as I feel it, or as soon as I catch them, is when enough is enough? Or do you catch them and try to fix it, or do you give that more time?
Well,
like, when would enough be enough for you to walk away from it?
I think that's more of a subjective thing, depending on person to person, because some people are willing to stick it out. Some people are like, fuck that. And again, me personally, when I'm like, yeah, tried everything, every option that you probably could or would or should take, at least made an effort.
Exhaust every
avenue, so it's like now when you get to the point to where you're like, okay, I don't know what else to do. Like, what else could I possibly do that's going to affect the outcome? And when you're left with nothing, that's the point to where I would be like, fuck it. It's like, I've done all I can. It's like, now it's just, it's to not necessarily like the universe or whatever, but it's like, yo, shit ain't working. It ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
So D-Lo, with your dynamic brain, what's got you into different seasons?
Like I said, it's just itself is a loaded question because it's like everybody said, it's on their personal preference on how much they can take. There's been times where I was in a toxic relationship for 2 months and I said peace. There's some there was another one I stuck it out until it was time. She felt like it was time to go.
Yeah, like I said, nobody can tell you. Like I said, nobody can tell you when you're tired, no matter what people on the outside looking in see.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell you don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
Because it's like you said, like it just, you either you try to make things to way it can benefit you, or not benefit you, but like you can fix it. Mm-hmm. If it can't, then yeah, split your ways. But if you just don't want to take the time to work on it, it's time to split your ways. So it's all about what you can take. It's what you're willing to do for that person.
Right. See, and for me, were you done? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead.
For me, I see it all of y'all's ways. The same. Y'all pretty much said the same exact thing, just in a different way. Like, you went more in depth with it, which kind of made everybody's correlate to what you said. And I agree. Like, it's all about how much you can tolerate. Each person is different. In my experience, I went 5 years tolerating it, knowing that the outcome was going to be what it was, but I wanted to put every drop of sweat, blood, and tears in it so I could make sure that when I left, I was depleted of that person.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a way to work. It was to make sure that when I left, I never came back.
You did all you could do.
I did all I could do. I gave everything I had. I put up every ounce of everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
I put my family on the back burner. I did everything I could to try to fix what I had.
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen that wasn't going to work and that person wasn't going to change, okay, you've done all you could.
Right. Yeah.
Hold your head up high.
Yeah.
Smile. Yeah, it's going to hurt. You're going to cry.
Yeah.
You're going to get through it. You're going to figure it out. But now that you know, deep down inside, that you did all you could and you gave it the world, you'll know to step away.
Mm-hmm.
And when you step away, you'll feel like the bigger person once those emotions have settled.
Yeah.
And you'll grow so fucking much.
Okay.
You'll grow so tremendously.
I like that. I like that.
And that's my advice for that topic. Like, it was a lot of takeaways from this episode, y'all, and I do appreciate it.
You know what they call what you just described?
What?
Dying a slow death.
Yeah. Yes.
Dying a slow death. That's what they call that.
It's
But what is your end game? Yes. That's all I kept picturing. He's over here dying a slow death.
Yeah.
Because he knows that nothing good is going to come from it. He's just got to make sure he's done all he could do.
Yes.
I feel
every time you do something, or you say something, or you speak out and you tell that person how you feel, and then you can see as you're saying it to that person that it's falling on deaf ears.
It doesn't matter.
But you continue to force yourself to stay.
A piece of you dies. You die in a slow death, baby. Oh wow!
And I had to make sure. I had to make sure that I was in that coffin. I had been dug a 20 feet hole and lowered down slowly.
Yeah.
That way, that when I was completely buried in dirt, I was able to walk away from that situation.
What do you think, America? Give us some likes on that. If you agree that is dying a slow death, let us know.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Is that the name of this episode? Dying
a slow death. You made it that.
No, he said no.
That's a bad omen. Let's not.
You made it that though.
Yeah, I get what you said. I'm making.
You closed it out with that though.
No, we're not closing it out with that.
No, I'm talking about when we got to you.
Yeah.
Everybody said what they said, and you closed it out with that.
But see, I did not.
I don't know. See, like I thought what you had to say was lovely. And then it turned into dying slow death.
That was Cha-Cha. No, but
you agreed.
But
I mean,
it is. That's kind of essentially, if you think about it, like in the mental capacity of it, I was killing myself softly.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was kind of
that too.
That kind of goes in.
You're doing stuff, but you know.
Like it started out heavy tears. Heavy,
why bother? It's that why because
in the house just bawling. By the end of it. It was almost poetic. There was no tears. There was no remorse for me leaving. There was no feeling involved. And it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm leaving here. This is what's happening. We can share custody of these dogs. But that ain't going to be long because we need to figure some out. I'm done.
Did you feel it, America? Did you feel it?
Like you'll get to that point. And I feel like everybody has gotten to that point. You went in depth.
Do you feel this segment?
I made y'all live it.
Yes. Say that again for the people in the back.
I made them live it. I brought it to reality.
Yes.
I feel like somebody out there, more than just some, have experienced that. Experienced that in some shape or form, not as to the extent of 5 years.
Yeah.
But to the extent of feeling a little piece of that. That little dread that we have about it.
Yeah.
But
take a breath, America. That was real. Take a breath. Everybody just sit back and breathe for a minute.
So that brings back the joy. You come out of it alive and ready to move forward in a stronger way. You've learned a lot from it. So now you know what you want even more so. So when that comes along, you hold on to it and you don't let it go. D-Lo's got that. Okay. Omega's got that. Me and Cha-Cha, I got it. Cha-Cha's
worried about his best life right now. Don't worry about that.
Cha-Cha's like it's out there, but I'm gonna have a good time on the way.
No, I'm sitting here like I'm just a dirty old man.
You know,
he's just living his best life.
And maybe that's your version of it.
Yeah.
That's the goodness about the world, about life.
Okay, so yeah, because what did you say? You made us live it. I've lived that what you told, so now I'm like,
this is your version of your
But
serenity.
I would like to feel that there's love out there for me.
Oh, there of course is. It'll just come in all shapes and forms.
Exactly. There's lots of kinds of
love. Dirty. He daddy, America. He daddy.
But America, y'all chime in. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Or post a video and tag us in it if you got something to say that's strong and you want us to see your face and see you poke your chest out when you say it. Don't poke it out too far. We ain't trying to think too much.
Except for the so-called dirty old man over here.
You know what? Stop it. 18 or older, please. But any final thoughts of the episode as far as like both sides of the topic? When it started out, it was in the workplace. We all discussed that and how long it would take for us to be over being put down for promotion, and then on this end in the relationship, two different dynamics.
But it all could be still summed up, as you said, as the slow death, because it's all about how you really take it. You know what I mean? Because a job, how long will it take you to realize that you're better than that?
Yeah.
How long in a relationship are you going to take to realize you're better than that? You know what I mean? So it's the slow death all around. Just how are you willing to come out of that?
Facts.
Okay. Good point. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
What was yours?
Like the lotus growing from shit.
That's the growing from shit.
That's great though.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's lovely.
Something so devastating blooms something so radiant in beauty. That is insane. Josh, what's your takeaway besides the lotus growing from shit?
My takeaway from this, I'm going to piggyback off of what D-Lo said. You know, dying a slow death. It all wrapped up into that. Like he said, how much of it are you really willing to go through? And what I got out of it with that is, this is what you brought up is really something to think about. Yeah. It's really something to think about, and I hope that America gets it, because relationships and jobs, we're all going through this. We're all actually going through this, and I hope that we were able to give you some insight on that, because a lot of the points that were made had me really thinking, really thinking.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stop. When you're working, what is it that you're really trying to achieve? And so that's what I got out of this, and the relationship thing. When I'm ready to jump back in it, what is it about me that I might need to change so I don't fall into that dying a slow death? Or is worth dying a slow death okay at my age? So that's what I got out of this. It made me think about how I'm going to approach things, because it made me think.
About how you're going to die a slow death.
Am I willing to die a slow death? As hanging in there, am I really, if I know that what I'm fighting for is no matter what I put into it, the results are going to remain the same. Yeah. How long am I willing to hang in there? And so that's what he meant by dying a slow death. And I get it. We've all been there. When we feel like maybe I made a messed up decision by choosing this person, but you tough it out.
Right.
And so that's what it's all about. My next relationship, how far am I willing? Because, and I don't want to talk about my last relationship or bring up any names, because we cool. It was what it was. I did some things, she did some things. So,
some things,
but I know there's some things I can be better about, and that other person needs to be better about. And how long am I willing to hang in there to make sure, to feel like that they're going to be what I want them to be. So yes, down a slow death.
In America, what were your takeaways from this episode? Do you have different opinions from us than we do? Do you have the same opinions as we do? Let us know in the comments, or like I said, post a video. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and even here on Spotify. So I'm your boy Javi.
I'm Omega Green.
D-Lo.
Cha-Cha's always in the building, showing the S on his chest, baby.
Come on, strong.
Yeah.
And welcome, and thank you for listening to The Rib. Episode name is going to be, when is it okay to walk away?
When is it okay to walk away?
Just the question that we ask.
When is it okay?
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Laters.